The headphones are most better. Half-Life 2 is no, not Half-Life 2. Half-Life, fuck. It's been a while, boys. It's been a minute. I've been making videos. Orders. So much orders. Half-Life is a classic. It started major innovations that a lot of first-person shooters would use, and has one of the most theorized universes in the internet. Now, what do I think of it? It's alright. And I'm not saying that to discredit the game. It's amazing, especially through the lens of 1998. It's just, there are much better options. Like a lot. It didn't have the best shooting mechanics, but the weapons it had and the movement speed kept it pretty fun, and Black Mesa is massive. It feels pretty never-ending, honestly. It was a sandbox that you could do whatever you wanted to do, work with the scientists or against them as you battle whatever that is, to get out of the facility alive. The first thing I want to talk about is Black Mesa, as it's Half-Life's crowning achievement. I already said it's massive, but god damn, this place is humongous. Its opening tells you this immediately, as the opening just never fucking ends, man. The idea was to show off just how big Black Mesa was and how great the graphics were for the time, and it just hasn't aged well, like, at all. I hate this. The graphics aren't bad, but it's not gonna make you go like, holy shit. And as for how big the opening is, I can already figure out how big the game is by, I don't know, playing the game. This is really nitpicky. I don't think anyone's gonna sit there and go, oh, well, if this white kid doesn't like it, why am I gonna play it? So, I'm gonna get into a much bigger complaint I have, which is the ladders. How do you fuck up the ladders, guys? Well, I'll tell you how they do this. It's the movement. You're fucking young. Shut up, Zeus. I'll tell you how. The movement speed. Since the game is as grandiose and chunky as it is, there's really big environments, so you're most likely going to be running through all of it anyway, so to have you automatically run would just be smart. It keeps the game fast-paced and fun. My problem is when they try to take this movement speed and put you into smaller areas. When you're in these cramped hallways and facilities, you're just going too fast sometimes. Case in point, the stairs. Like right here, for example, I was in this water and got jumped by a vortigon, so of course I want to get up and to kill as quickly as possible so I don't take as much damage. The only way I can do that is to go up these stairs, and you kind of just... It's a constant issue with the game because it's not just the ladders. The main frustration comes from slightly difficult platforming. This is terrible. I mean, sometimes it's fun, but other times it's... It's not the level design that makes it bad, it's well thought out and fun and creative. The problem again is the movement speed, and I'm aware you can slow down by holding shift, which is probably what they want you to do, but it doesn't make it any less annoying when you fall off the cliff for the millionth time. So I think the movement speed is good, but they should have accommodated for some of these sections for the speed, because Jesus Christ. Another complaint I have is this aiming reticle. Again, I think it works really well in certain parts of the game. For example, when you're inside the facilities and stuff, it's great. It's somewhat darker contrasting the light orange reticle, and with it being more small and precise, I know exactly what I'm aiming at. Now when we get outside, it's a gamer's worst nightmare. Jesus. It's orange and it's sunny. I actually can't see this thing. The game not only becomes harder because the enemies are more aggressive with more of them, but because I can't see what I'm shooting at half the time. They do make up with it for some pretty cool weapons though. I mean, you got the standard stuff, assault rifle, pistol, whatever. But along with that, you got a crossbow, plasma weapons, and actual severed alien hand. But just when I thought the game was doing something kind of cool, they found a way to fuck it up. Okay, so you know how in every shooter that has ever been created by mankind, you could throw the grenade with a button press, and it's separate from the current gun you're using, so that way it's not a whole effort, because it's just a quick throw the grenade and then go back to whatever you're doing? Yeah, this game doesn't do that for some reason. It's a separate item slot, so you have to go in, which just makes it really hard to want to use this thing, especially when the game gives you a much better option. On your assault rifle, or SMG, depending on what version you're playing, that's fucking nerdy. On your assault rifle, you could right click and boom, a grenade comes out that automatically explodes. Sure, you're less likely to get these compared to just standard grenades lying around, but it never really mattered because I barely used the grenades. And when I did use the grenades, Noodle Arms over here could barely throw the damn thing. But when I say these complaints, I'm not trying to say this game is garbage or that it's not worth your time. I mean, it's like $2. I'd be a little concerned if it wasn't. So I am being really critical of the game, but these are just genuinely serious flaws that I felt needed to be brought up because they do some solid things about this game, like the combat. It's not the most pristine thing you'll ever see, like when you're outside and not able to see your aiming reticle, but the actual combat itself is super fun because of the open-endedness. There's a bunch of ways you could tackle taking out enemies. Usually I was running with an assault rifle and grenades tearing my way through because it was super easy. But if you wanted to, you could use strip mines and set up marines for failure, or you could sit back with your sniper rifle and just take out the enemies and walk through later. A good example of how you could, you know, have a more dynamic experience is this part with the elevator. You go up the elevator and there's just explosive barrels blocking your path, and if you were to shoot it, you would just die, obviously. So what you could do is go this other alternate route and take out some other guys, or if you want to be a real guy, you take your C4. And boom, simple as that. The creativity in doing whatever you want is able to work so well mainly because of how they set up the story. Just like Half-Life 2, it has an interesting way of telling the story. You play as a scientist Gordon Freeman who's a part of an interstellar space travel experiment that goes horribly wrong. With this, that, and yikes. So you go through trying to make it out alive with more stuff happening as the game goes on. Though the way it's set up, you're Gordon Freeman and can do whatever you want. Do you want to work with the scientists? Go ahead. Are they in your way and pissing you off? Well, you have a gun for a reason. The fun of the story is making your decisions as you go, even if they don't have much of an impact. And even though it's pretty basic, the plot does deepen over time because, like with Half-Life 2, they do a good job of showing you the story instead of telling you the story, if you know what I mean by that. You watch Black Mesa go from pristine to crumble. You watch scientists scream and go through freak actions without making it a big deal. If you wait and listen, you can hear the stuff in the military saying about Gordon.
Sabotage, maybe? Yeah, maybe. All I know for sure is he's been killing like buddies. Oh yeah, he'll pay. He will definitely pay.
And you just spend the entire time absorbing everything while using the creativity to do whatever. And if we're talking about the story, I really want to mention the last few sections of the game because I think they're really cool and it just heightens the experience so much more. So if you have any interest in this game and want to play it, go click off right now or just skip to the time I have up on the screen so that way you don't get spoiled. Dude, you go to space? There's like low gravity and you can find the source of the aliens and have all these really cool environments and these weird alien spaceship things and all low gravity, and find out like the Vorgons are like slaves and they're building more of these creatures, and it goes really deep with all this teleporting shit and this fucking mega alien brain thing, and then it explodes. It's really cool. I like it. It's fun. Like I said earlier, there are a lot of things that haven't aged well with this game mechanically, and I pitched a big fit about it. Obviously, you watched the whole video. But overall, I still think the game is pretty alright. It's not bad. I don't think it's a must-have game that will change your life. There are many shooters that outdo this game in every single way, but it's a nice distraction to pop in and experience some Valve history. It's pretty cool. Just play Counter-Strike.